in the crowd, their first crush, and a fantastic actor at that as well. And I promise you, this session is unscripted. Neelam, Kothari, please. Neelam, if they continue playing the music, there'll be requests to start a dance right here. The mic's right there.
I wasn't too sure whether I should get up and dance or not, so I was dying to dance, but then I didn't want to sort of embarrass you and India Today and stuff.
So, would you like to do that at the end of our conversation? I'll warm you up.
Listen, I was joking. Later.
At the end of the conversation, guys. Someone on the sound console is getting very excited. But we all are very excited here, Neelam, to welcome you to the India Today Conclave.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, India Today, for having me here today. It's a complete honor, and yes, I'm so excited.
And congratulations to season 2 of Fabulous Lives, a
Thank
fabulous show. And I want to actually start off by asking you about that, because it's been in the news so much. Really, the first season was something that all of us were glued into during the pandemic, binge-worthy content, and now season 2's come out recently. What has that experience been like, Neelam?
Well, first of all, when Karan approached us, Seema, Bhavna, Mahip and me, we were on a flight to Delhi, and he said, you know, the 4 of you are so insane and mad. He said, I've got to make a show on you. So all of us were so excited. Then Karan called me up one day. He said, listen, I think the show is happening. It's happening on Netflix, and you're going to be part of it. So I went for the meeting, and then I completely started getting cold feet and sweaty palms, and I was like, Karan, I cannot do this. Because I've always been in front of the camera, yes, and I've always done sort of scripted shows or, you know, movies or whatever. I've always played a character, but I've never played myself. So this one for me was a big one. So I was chickening out, actually, to be honest with you.
But is it very different, Neelam? Because we watch reality TV, and this was the first time that we saw something like this here in India, on Netflix India. Obviously, Beverly Hills is there, and then there's all sorts of shows in different parts of the world. Was it, 1, what you expected, and 2, how unscripted is it?
So honestly, prior to Bollywood Wives, I hadn't watched too much of reality TV. It's only when I agreed to do the show, and that's when I started watching Kardashians and Real Housewives and everything. But okay, back to your question. I can go on and on about the show. But is it scripted? No, it's not. I mean, definitely they tell us, okay, you're going to be shooting at such and such a venue. But it's up to us, you know, where we take the conversation, what we discuss, it's all up to us. Whether we decide to fight, cry, it just depends on, you know, how the conversation flows. So it's not scripted at all.
So when the camera goes off, the 4 fabulous lives of Bollywood wives, that's exactly how you are in person? Is that the same banter, the camaraderie?
Listen, I've known the 3 since almost 25 years. So when we're together, we're having a blast, and whatever we discuss, of course, before the show started, we said that, you know, there's certain topics which are off limits. Okay, we're not going to go there, otherwise we're going to have cat fights. But yeah, everything is genuine. Like when we're having a blast, when we're having fun, it's all real. If there are any fights, that's all real. So I think also people are enjoying this kind of content is because there's nothing like this out there in India. I think it's first of its kind. So I think people are enjoying it.
We are enjoying it, most certainly. And we'll keep talking about this Netflix show, but it's been a fascinating journey for you as well, right? I mean, you were here in Mumbai, you had a brilliant career in Bollywood, then you took a break, you ran a successful jewelry and interior design business, and then Fabulous Lives happens. So how do you manage now? There's so much more attention after this Netflix show. Has it been a little bit too overwhelming sometimes?
Well, I just want to say one thing, okay? I was very comfortable waking up in the morning, going to the office. I was 50, and I thought I'm very comfortable with my life, and I'm comfortable in my zone. So it just proves to show that life is not over when you're 50.
Mm-hmm.
I feel for me, life has just begun at 50 all over again. So I would say thanks to Karan for making this happen, because it's just sort of opened up so many doors and avenues for me.
So when Karan came with the idea of this show to you, how did he pitch it to you? And you know, you mentioned that you'd seen a bunch of these things after he made the offer to you, Beverly Hills and stuff like that. Was it anything like it was envisioned to be, or it took its own course?
So I watched one of the housewife shows. Okay, well, I think it was Beverly Hills,
right,
or one of them, I can't remember. And all I saw was catfight.
That's right.
Okay, so that honestly just frightened me. I was like, yipes, I cannot be doing this. So that sort of put me off. But then, you know, the creatives and Karan, they said, listen, we assure you that it's all about friendship, it's all about womanhood, it's about your lives. So that was another scary thing for me. My life is going to be out there, because when you're doing a reality show, you're putting yourself out there for judgment as well. You know, not only yourself, but your family, your spouse. And I think, you know, for me, a big thing was Samir, my husband, was absolutely fine, you know, having cameras in the house, and, you know, it's a complete invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
And you have had no idea how it is, because, I mean, my child comes back from school and she's like, Mama, why is the whole crew here? And yeah, so it was very challenging at times, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's done well. It's been appreciated, well, mostly appreciated, and I'm so glad I did it.
You know, we've seen in the past 2 seasons a lot of cameos really have done the show good as well. They've been very interesting, from Shah Rukh and Gauri, and then Ranveer as well. And there's a lot of talk. I've been reading a lot of these interesting pieces saying, is Gauri the unofficial 5th cast member on the show, with the unofficial 5th Bollywood
Well,
wife?
no, it's not like that. See, the 4 of us wouldn't have been so friendly had it not been because of Gauri Khan, because it's because of her. You know, we used to meet at her place. Because of her, you know, I was constantly in touch with everyone. So I think she's just a major part of our lives over the 25 years that we've known each other.
And in terms of unscripted content, I mean, this was one of its kind, the first time that we saw something like this. Is there something else brewing? Is there something else you're working on that you'd like all your fans to know about?
Well, in terms of coming back to acting,
Is that on the cards? Mainstream acting, Bollywood, Neelam comes back to Bollywood, is that the headline?
No, I mean, I'm getting a lot of offers and interesting stuff, but I'm holding on. I'm just waiting for something really, really good.
When a show like Fabulous Lives gets so much traction and so popular, especially during the pandemic babies like Tiger King and the other shows that launched were also very, very popular, increased attention, increased traction, and then that also means you're doing this in the age of social media and the internet. So there's going to be a lot of criticism as well, trolls talking about it. You've spoken about this before. But what I find interesting is that they call it cringe-worthy, but it's still binge-worthy. So it is something that's addictive. How do you deal with such sort of criticism?
So when the show, season 1 dropped, to be honest with you, I mean, I was overwhelmed because my DM just exploded.
That's right.
Okay, when I was doing films back in the days, in the 80s and 90s, there was no social media, there was no Instagram, obviously. So you never really got a sense of how popular you were. And when season 1 dropped, I started getting messages from people from South Africa, from Brazil, from all over the world, just so much of love pouring in. But then I went onto Twitter and YouTube, and I remember seeing the comments, and I called up Bhavna and I was like, listen, I'm going underground because there was a lot of trolling happening. Lot of trolling. And we were in the pandemic, okay? So I thought that people are hating the show. I mean, yes, it's a reality show like a film. Some people love it, some people hate it. But you never really sort of get the true essence of something till you don't go out in public. So after season 2, because things had opened up.
That's right.
It's just been, it's just been phenomenal. I mean, everyone has watched it, whether they like it, whether they hate it, that, I don't know, but everyone has watched it, including the men.
We should do a quick poll of the year. Has everyone watched Fabulous Lives of It? Put your hands up, please. Oh, that's a massive show of hands. So even if they don't accept it
I just saw a lot of hands going up, and it was a lot of the males. A lot of the men have seen it, which is a great thing.
It is. It's fascinating that you're talking about this sort of content, Neelam. But you said maybe going back to mainstream Bollywood is not on the cards. But now there's so much more that you can do in the acting line. You can do interesting OTT shows as well.
100%.
I mean, is that something you'd like to consider? Because things have changed a lot. It's literally like an Avengers movie. 20 years later, you're back, so much traction. Maybe you could do other sort of content in this space?
I mean, I think this is a great time, not just for women, but for men as well. For actors in large, because I think the kind of scripts that are being written, I think it's another level. I mean, you've got comedy, you've got drama, you've got horror, you've got everything. Anything you could ask for is out there now. So I think for an actor, it's the best time. And back to your question, am I coming back? Not yet.
Okay, so what we will do is we'll take you down memory lane, a little bit of nostalgia for our audience as well. And I'll put you on the spot with a bunch of questions.
I just told you, don't put me on the spot.
It's unscripted content. That's what we're going for here at the India Today Conclave. If Fabulous Lives was to be about men being cast as the protagonists, which 4 men do you think would pull off the same parts as well, with as much traction and as much popularity?
So you won't believe it. I was thinking about this in the morning. Okay, you've got women who normally do reality TV. You don't have that many shows on men.
That's true.
So sorry to say, I don't think men can pull it off.
Do you think why is it so though? That's interesting. Is it because they struggle opening up and being emotional? Yeah, is that the case?
I think so. I think because women don't really hold back. When they're angry, they show it. When they're upset, they show it. You can ask my husband that as well. Women don't hold back, and I think women are just like you just said, they open up a lot more, and you have that girl bonding, and I don't see that with men, to be honest with you.
In the spirit of opening up, I'm going to put you in a small sort of rapid fire because some of my colleagues have given me a bunch of questions.
I told you don't do this to me before the session.
But if you were to go back to the 90s with some of these movies and really recast the lead roles, because you've had a bunch of hits with Govinda, Chunky Pandey back in the day, and now if you had to recast everyone in Andaz Apna Apna, who would you cast?
Andaz Apna Apna. Ranveer. Okay, and the 2 girls would be Ananya and Sara Ali Khan.
Fantastic. That's truly unscripted. Raja Babu.
Raja Babu. I think the original Tamir, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would still cast Tamir in that. Sorry.
Khalnayak. Was originally Madhuri and Sanjay. Yeah.
I wouldn't change the casting of that at all because, I mean, Sanju did what he did and he did it so well, I don't think anyone else can replace that.
And Dil To Pagal Hai?
Dil To Pagal Hai. SRK is the OG. How can you asking me to recast SRK? No way.
So on that note, Neelam, it's been a fascinating conversation, but I think someone on the sound console is going to be playing music very shortly. We still have time, maybe for one hook step for our audience, one of your favorite steps. There you go. Sorry.
आपके आ जाने आपके आ जाने से आपके आ जाने से आपके आ जाने से आपके
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Neelam Kothari.
That's one more. Raj, could I have you on stage, please? A small gift for you, and thank you for indulging Ayush.